Kim Dubois, the Keto Foodie, coming at you with a quick little video. I was asked today by 3 different people around testing ketones, so I thought that there might be some questions out there for those people who maybe are just starting to test ketones or maybe thinking about testing ketones. So I thought I would make a quick video and answer the questions that I received in hopes that I can help all of you if you're looking to start testing ketones. So really there's 3 different ways to test ketones. The first one is through urinary strips. So this is one that a lot of people do, especially when they're new to keto and they know that they need to be producing ketones, and it's cheap and it's inexpensive. You can get them at almost any drugstore, any pharmacy. You can get them at Amazon. This is my least favorite way to measure ketones because you're peeing out your money is what you're doing when you purchase these. You're pissing away your money. So these strips are helpful, and they measure the fact that you're excreting or releasing ketones. And this will happen right around the time when you're first starting to do the keto diet and you're lowering your carbs, you're increasing your fat, you're eating the moderate protein. Your body starts going through this process where it releases its glycogen and glucose that is stored within your body. So you go through this whole process of releasing all of that. Your body then says, shoot, what do I do for energy? And it looks for the next able-bodied macro or piece of energy within your body, which is going to be fat. And that is the fat that you're eating. That is the fat that is on your body. When you're excreting those ketones, meaning that you're in the process of converting and your body is now, oh, okay, I need to create these ketone bodies so that I can run off of this since I don't have the carbohydrates and the glycogen stored anymore. Your body produces these ketones, and when you're producing the ketones, your body starts to figure out, how do I use this? And it starts to use some of them, and you're going through this transition period. Is what we call the period up to fat adaptation. And while you're going through that period, your body is producing these, learning how to use them, and anything that your body's not using, you excrete through your urine, meaning you're going to go to the bathroom, and every time you pee, there's going to be ketones in your urine. So it's very effective at measuring that you are now excreting ketones, but that is not the goal of a ketogenic diet whatsoever. That process needs to happen for you to get into fat adaptation and deep ketosis, but it's not the goal. You want to be producing those ketones and using those ketones for energy. So what a lot of people find is after being on the keto diet for 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks, that they're using these strips and it looks like they're no longer in ketosis, but they're not really measuring ketosis. What they're measuring is the excretion of ketones. So again, I would not spend any money on this if it were me, but if you want to, a really cheap, good option to go out and just see, my body's starting to change and go through the process, and this is a great tool for those people who want to see that. Don't buy more than 1 container of those strips though, because if you use more than a container of them and you're not yet in fat adaptation, then there could potentially be an issue with how you're lining up your macros. So that's the first way to test. The second way to test is through breath test. So it's kind of like a breathalyzer that like the police officers have when they pull people over and stuff. It's a small little unit with a little thing that you breathe into, and it measures the ketones in your breath, because when you're producing those ketones, they're in your blood and they're in your organism, and they're really in any liquid in your body. So in your breath, there's going to be the ketones. I find these, I've used 3 different ones. I find them not to be very reliable. If I were to do ketone testing with a breathalyzer and then do it through a blood draw, I haven't successfully, on any of the 3 tools that I've used, had them align. So I don't love it. I know that it can tell you that you have some level of ketones, but the most accurate way to test your ketones, which is where I'd like to spend my time, is really doing a blood draw of your ketones. And now this is something that you could do, of course, at a doctor's office, but a lot of companies have made a lot of good progress in the last like 3 to 4 years in creating meters that you can use at home, just like a glucose meter that you would use if you are a diabetic or you know someone who's diabetic, where you prick your finger, you get a little bit of blood, and you can test what level of ketone bodies are in your actual blood. That's going to be the most accurate way to test your ketones. Now, I use the Keto Mojo meter, which I love. I can't say enough good about the Keto Mojo. And I test, it depends on what it is that I'm doing, if I'm trying new foods. I'm working on a cookbook, which I'm really excited about, and a lot of the different sweeteners and different things that I combine into my recipes. I want to know, is this going to kick me out of ketosis? Because if it's kicking me out of ketosis, it could kick someone else out of ketosis, right? So there's times where I'm measuring my blood multiple times a day. If I'm like cooking something, or if I'm going to be trying or sampling something. Right now I'm testing mostly once a day because I'm on OMAD, so it doesn't really matter. I'm only eating once a day, and I know that I've aligned my macros so that they're the most healthy as they can possibly be and keep me in ketosis. So I'm still testing once a day just because I get rewarded by the number on that. If I says that my ketones are in a specific level, or if they're therapeutically high, then it excites me. But the Ketone Mojo is a great device. You can do both glucose testing as well as ketone body testing on it. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. The strips for the glucose testing are a lot cheaper than the ketone ones. The great thing about the Ketone Mojo is that they've gotten their strips down, I think, to like 98 cents or 99 cents per strip. So it's a pretty affordable test if you're going to be doing blood testing at home. If you buy in bulk, you save a little bit of money. So the Ketone Mojo is amazing. If the Ketone Mojo is not for you and you're using a different type of blood draw, that's fine too. There are other devices on the market. You just need to be careful around what strips that they use and how expensive those are, because those can be pretty expensive. So that's 3 different ways to test. So the keto urine strips, which would be the one that I would least recommend unless you're just interested in the transitional period and making sure that your body starts to produce ketones. Really all you're measuring at that point is that you're excreting or releasing ketones, so your body's producing them and you're losing them, which isn't great because you want your body to use those. The breath ketone meter, which is a fairly good tool. I just haven't seen it be very consistent. I've used 3 different ones. I wouldn't recommend any of them just because none of them have mirrored or been close enough to the blood, which I know is the most accurate. And then blood draw testing. I use the Ketone Mojo. I really love it. You can do both glucose and ketone testing on it, so then you can look at your different numbers and see if you're in deep or therapeutic ketosis and so forth. Those are 3 different ways to test. Or if you're interested in testing, if you've never done it before, feel free to drop any questions here. Feel free to inbox me. I'm happy to talk to you through the different tools that I've used and how I do it. And I think that probably later this week I'll do a quick video of me testing my blood ketones so you guys can actually see how easy it is. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for following along. Whatever it is that you're doing, do it in love, and I wish you all the best and that you all get into deep ketosis quickly. Have a great day.